In the quiet Yoruba village of Folktale, where palm trees kissed the sky and every compound echoed with proverbs, lived a young man named Akin, the only son of the great hunter Odelamide, now deceased. Raised by his widowed mother, Yèyé Morẹ, Akin was well-liked, strong, kind, and respectful. He worked the family farm with diligence, helped elders with humility, and carried his father's legacy with quiet pride. But what good is strength when your heart is weak with love? Akin fell for Adùnní, the daughter of Baba Oguntade, the village herbalist. Adùnní was the kind of girl who could stop time, graceful, intelligent, with a beauty that seemed touched by the gods. They met at the stream where she came to fetch water. Akin offered to carry her calabash, and their story began. Days turned to weeks. He brought her roasted maize and groundnuts. She sang to him by moonlight. Beneath the ancient Iroko tree, Akin whispered, "Adùnní, I don't have riches or titles, but I have love. Be mine." She smiled, her eyes glistening. "Akin, I would choose you, in this life and the next." Their love blossomed in secret, but eventually it was time to bring her home to meet Yèyé Morẹ. When Adùnní arrived, dressed modestly and bearing a gift of yam and soup, Yèyé Morẹ greeted her with stiff politeness. Her smile was small and sharp. She eyed Adùnní up and down like one studying a hidden message in fabric. But she said nothing unkind, just, "So, this is the girl who holds my son's heart." That night, Yèyé called Akin aside. "She's lovely," she said, "but loveliness is not loyalty. Be careful, Akin. Not every smile is sincere." Akin brushed it off as a mother's suspicion. He believed love would prove itself. 3 days later, the village was summoned for a gathering at the palace square. Drums sounded, chiefs sat in their regal attire. The high chief stood and raised his hand. "A great woman in our village has chosen to end her mourning. She will remarry to bring prosperity to our home once again." Nemen in, whispers floated like dust. Her name, Yèyé Morẹ, and her chosen bride is Adùnní. The square froze. Akin laughed, thinking it a joke, until he saw her, Adùnní, standing beside his mother, eyes downcast, draped in white, silent. "No," Akin said. "No, this is a mistake. She's mine." But Yèyé only lifted a hand, calm and firm. "You speak out of turn, my son. The gods have spoken." That night, under the full moon, Akin found Adùnní by the stream. Her shoulders shook as she wept. "Why?" he asked, broken. "You said you loved me." Adùnní looked at him, hollow-eyed. "Your mother knows something about my father. A secret. If I refused her, she said she would disgrace my entire family. I couldn't bear it. I didn't want to lose you, but I couldn't lose everything else." Akin staggered back, winded. This wasn't betrayal of love. It was betrayal of mercy. He marched home and burst into his mother's room. "Why would you do this? Why her? You took my love." Yèyé didn't rise. She poured herself palm wine and sipped. "Because you are still a boy, Akin. You see love. I see legacy." She stood slowly and faced him. Adùnní carries something more than beauty. She carries power, a bloodline that must be tied to ours. You would marry for your heart. I marry for the gods. But you are my mother, and that is why you will learn. Love is not always a gift. Sometimes it is a weakness. The next morning, Akin packed what little he had. He left the house that bore his father's name and the mother who had defiled his heart. No goodbyes, no blessings. He walked through the forest path, his shadow long behind him. The villagers say he crossed into the land of spirits, never to return. Others say he built a new life in a distant village where he became a priest of forgotten gods, silent, powerful, and never to be touched by love again. And Adùnní, she became a wife in name, but never in soul. Her smile vanished, her eyes dulled. Yèyé Morẹ nikẹ, she grew wealthy, but alone. In Folktale, old women still whisper the tale of the son whose mother married his love. They say when the wind howls through the Iroko trees, you can still hear him say, "My mother married my love and buried my soul."